Good morning, children. We'll continue with the Java program. I already showed you how to create a program, a simple program, and how to execute it, compile and execute the program. We'll go further with the information on Java. Okay, let me share the screen with you. Okay, there are some important points that we need to remember about Java programming. Okay, first thing all know that Java is case sensitive. So a capital word like here you have an identifier like all Java case sensitive programming language means that an identifier like hello, capital hello, H capital and small hello, H small, lowercase, they have different meanings in Java. That's why Java is case sensitive. You cannot use big capital letters for small and small letters for capital. Like how you did it in HTML, it's not case sensitive, but Java is case sensitive. Now the class name. We should always remember that the class name, the very first letter in the class name should always begin with an uppercase. And if you have several words uh, to identify your class, then each word in between, that is the inner word, should be starting with the capital letters, like we had done in the previous class, my first Java program. So M was capital. Here you have the example how we gave the class name. M was capital, F was capital, the inner names, Java program. So we could identify each word separately. And the method name should always start with the lower case. And if there are several words used to form a method name, then the inner words of the first letter should be in a capital letter. Like here, you have public's void and my method. Okay, my method name. Now, program file. When you are saving a file, that is a Java file, you should always save it with the class name and you should append it with .java so that the notepad, whatever you're creating, the program will convert into a Java file. So if a file name in the class does not match when you are saving it, then the program does not get compiled and you cannot execute the program. It does not first compile only. So if in the previous class, we did the program, my first Java program. When we saved, we put .java. We appended the file name with the class name with .java. So you should always save it with the class name. You cannot save it with any name. If not, the file does not compile. So you need to use a class name and append it with .java. Now what you have public static void main string are, this is mandatory part in every Java program. It helps you to process from the main method. So it starts all the steps that you do, it starts processing right from the main method. So that's why the very first step that you write is public static void main. That is the method and it's mandatory for every Java program. Coming to the next is Java identifiers. You will be using a lot of these identifiers. All Java components, they all require a name. So names are used for class. You give a class and then you have to write the name. Then for variables also. So if you're assigning a value, the value is aligned to a variable. So if I give a variable A is a variable and the value has to be assigned to it. Then the method and all these are called as identifiers. So in Java, we need several things to remember about these identifiers. What are the things you remember? First and for all identifiers should begin with letters only. It can be capital letters, that is uppercase, or it can be the lowercase letters from A to Z. And if you're using currency, then you can use the dollar symbol and an underscore when you are separating two words. Okay, these are some of the identifiers, that is the letters, currency, and underscore. And you should see that whenever you are giving a class name, it should always start with a letter, capital letter. So the very first character or the identifier can have a combination of characters. Now, a keyword cannot be used as an identifier. I'll be giving you the names of all the keywords in the next slide. So keywords cannot be used as identifiers. Let's take a legal example here. There's a legal example. Now, it all these identifiers, the legal identifiers, are composed with Unicode characters. Now, let's say they are having Unicode characters, they have numbers, and you'll be understanding why Unicode. Numbers, currency symbols, and connecting characters. And what are the connecting characters? Like how you use underscore. So when you're giving age, you can use the numbers 14. When you're saying salary, it's dollars. And when you're saying value, whatever it is, one, and you can use an underscore for these values. And what are illegal identifiers then? Illegal identifiers, the identifier cannot start with any numbers or any type of, words like these type of identifiers, like a dash or a hash, f, dot f. So you cannot start, there's an example given, you can't start with the number 1, 2, 3, ABC and a dash, or a salary. You can't give the name as dash and then salary. So it should always start with a letter. Clear? You already did an example for it. Now let's see the keywords in Java. As I told you, you cannot use all these keywords or reserved words that are there in Java in your program. Okay, so these are the list of the reserved words in Java. These reserved words cannot be used as constant or a variable. So if you want to name a value, give a variable, you cannot use these names. You cannot say abstract equal to so much, or any other identifiers, you cannot. So these are some of the keywords. Like class. Class is a reserved word. Byte is a reserved word. Do, when you're doing if else do and all those things, then you'll be using this. Go to, int, if, else, all these, boolean, break, character, float, all these things are reserved words. Void is a reserved word. Okay, public, and all these things are reserved words. Okay, you cannot use these uh, words. Coming to the next one, let's learn what is a comment line. Now, comment lines are same in Java. It's the same in C and C++ also. You have comment lines. What's the use of the comment line? The comment line will help you to know what statements you are entering into your program. Clear? So Java supports two types of comment lines. One is single comment line and the other one is multiple comment lines. So all the characters that are available inside this comment line, when you are compiling the file, the Java program, it ignores these comment lines. It does not print these things. It just ignores these when they are when the file is being compiled. So here you had done already the program. You can see that there is a forward slash and an asterisk, and in this we have so many steps given in this. Okay, this is my first Java program. This is, it prints hello world, and this is an example of multiple line comment. So if you put a single slash and an asterisk, it's a multiple line comment. A single line comment comes with a double slash. Clear? So there are two types of comments, single line comment and a double line comments. Now, as I told you, variables are nothing but container. These variables hold value. So as I told you, a holds a value, whatever. If I say a is equal to 10, that means the variable a is holding the value 10. So every variable is assigned a data type, right? You have different data types. Okay. So it is designed with type and the quantity. That is the quantity of the value that is holding. Let's see what is the variable in a program and how it is performed in these two steps. First one is called the variable declaration. You need to declare a variable. Then only you can you know what type of variable are you using. So here the variable is being declared in this example, and it is specified with the data type and gives the variable a unique name. So here you can see int is the type that it is giving, and count is the name. So to declare a variable, you must first specify the data type. What's the data type? You're using int is nothing but integer. So if you use float, it will become a type. So this is the data type, and you need to give the variable a unique name. So what's the name given here? Count. So int is the data type and count is the name given to this variable. Clear? Then what is variable initialization? So to initialize a variable, you must first assign it a valid value. So as I said, int count equivalent to 100. So what we are doing? The container count is holding a value 100. Clear? Now, let's see what are the different data types. As I already told you, you have different data types: integer, float type, string type, logical type. Now, in integer, you have different types. Byte holds 1 byte, and short integers hold 2 bytes. Integers, this is integer holds 4, and long integers hold 8 bytes. Floats are all decimal values. They hold 4 bytes, and double float holds 8 bytes. Strings, that is nothing but characters, it holds 2 bytes because it's a Unicode, as I told you. And logical data type, they hold 1 byte. It is either true or false. That's Boolean. Boolean data type, that's logical. It holds only 1 byte. Now we need to remember certain points, that all numeric data types, they have to be assigned with your operator, which is either a plus or a minus. So it's either plus when you get the value, the answers come as either plus 10 or minus 10 or whatever values you're giving. So the data types have to be assigned. Any data type, you need to write a plus or a minus. And all the size of the data, um, they remain the same on all platforms. So any platform that you're using the program, it will remain the same. So character data type, as I told you already, it's a Unicode and it holds 2 bytes. Coming to the different operators, we have different operators in uh, Java. So these operators, they are set of operators that manipulate your variables. So Java operators, they are divided into groups called arithmetic operators, relational operators, and logical operators. We will learn them separately. Okay, coming to the arithmetic operators, this is something which is very simple for you. Arithmetic, it is nothing but plus, minus, multiplication, division, modules, increment, decrement. These are the things that come under arithmetic operators. So arithmetic operators are used for simple mathematical calculations, or they are mathematical expressions, what you are using in your algebra, what you're doing it in your maths every day. Now here we are going to use these mathematical operators, or what arithmetic operators, with an example set for you. Now here we are giving a variable a, and the variable a holds the value as 10, and the variable b holds the value as 20. You can see here, variable b a is holding 10 and variable b is holding 20. Let's see how it is working out in the arithmetic operator. So the first arithmetic operator is addition. So he says here, if I want to add a plus b, a is 10, b is 20. So what will the answer be? 30. Okay. And if I use it in the second arithmetic operator, which is subtraction, a minus b, a is 10, but b is 20. So which is more? B is more. Since b is more, the answer would come as minus 10, because 20 minus 10, it would be b minus a, and it would be minus 10. Multiplication, a into b, a is 10 and b is 20. 10 into 20 is 200. Division, here, because the operator 20 is greater than a, which is 10, then you get 2. Module, in modules, you have to divide the left hand operand with the right hand, because this is to get a remainder. And so you get no remainder, because b percentile a will give you 0. Increment, if I say b plus plus, b is 20, plus plus 1, it increments always by 1. So 20 will become 21 if I say b plus plus. If I say a plus plus, then 10 will become 11. Like the decrement, it starts removing 1. Okay, it decreases the value by 1. So if I say b minus minus, b is now 20. If I say minus minus, it will become 19. Now 20 minus 1, it is 19. So in the very first example, this is your example of using all the operators, that is b, a plus b. Okay, and the values are given. So we will use this example if I have time, try out this sum actually. So class name is public class. I'm giving the class name as test. Then you know what to do. Public static, you're giving the method. Void main string string args. Put the method, and then you are giving the values for A, B, C, and D. Okay, 10, 20, 25, 25. Okay, integer A is equivalent to 10, int B is equivalent to 20, int C is equivalent to 25. Okay, you need to put an semicolon because it's an end of the statement, and int D, it's your wish what values you want to take. D is 25. Now here I'm going to add A plus B, exactly how your work is given in this. I will be doing the same thing so that you will understand. So I'm going to print. So it is system dot out dot print ln. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to use A plus B. Okay, and I'm going to say equal to, I'm going to get the value. So when I am, getting the answer, it should become plus A plus B. Clear? Now, since I opened two brackets here and here, you need to close it. So I'm finding out the A value of A plus B. Put a semicolon to end the statement. So you can just copy the statement and just change the values only. So I'll control plus C copy, and I'll say control plus V paste. In the next part, I'm going to do minus instead of plus. I'll put a minus and here, but of course I'm finding the value, so it should be plus and bracket A minus B. Okay. In the third part, I'm going to use the multiplication. I'm going to use all the arithmetic operators, and here it will become, and you know that the value of B is more than the value of A. So what it will become? I'm using the next division value. So I'll say B divided by A. So also here also it will change here. B divided by A. Clear? And then I'm going to do the percentile, control V. I'm copying the same statement. This also it's greater, so it will become B percentile A. Clear? Here also it will become the same. B percentile A. And the last one, C percentile A. So the C value is also there, no? So there are two that are given. So let's check even this also, since even C has to be used. C percentile A. Here also you need to change C percentile A. And as you know, you have open two brackets, so close it with your two curly braces, and you need to save the program with file save as. So we were saving it in the D drive, right? I hope you know what to do. Go to the D drive, and I have Java A, B, and I was saving it in B, right? So here, what was the name of the class file? Test dot Java. Clear? Save. Test.java and Java B. So I am executing the file. Open your command prompt. You need to go into the D drive and change the directory to Java B. Compile the file Java C test.java and execute the file now. Let's see, no errors are there. So Java test. Here are the answers. A plus B 30, A minus B minus 10, A into B 200, B percentile, oh this AB I put, it should be B2, and percentile A is 0 and percentile A is 5. Got it? Understood, children? That's all. Take a screenshot of this and stick it in your classwork book. So hope you understood arithmetic calculations. Try out the sum, what I've showed you on arithmetic calculations. Have a nice day.